Hey y'all, welcome to Other Realm Studio. I'm Paula. I'm not running terribly later this time around. Um, let's see. Today I was working on packing up rewards for the Kickstarter. I did not get that far with it. I had a lot of other things planned for today though, and I'm really surprised that I got as far as I did. So today I have gone grocery shopping. I have bought kitten chow. I have bathed the kitten. Surprisingly, he did okay with that. And I've done so much laundry. And yeah, there's been quite a bit going on. And also, when I went out for a walk a few minutes ago, I managed to walk slap into a spider web, like right in my face. So I'm not happy about that. It didn't seem to be one of the giant orb weavers, though. I think it was just one of the little bitty ones. But there is a giant orb weaver that gets its web started like right outside the back door around now, in fact, which I found out last night. So I wanted to be very sure that I got done putting up my chickens early. Let's see. So I'm going to do a little bit more texture on these mountains in the background. And just try and figure out where the breaks in the shadows in the rock are. I'm pretty happy with my up close pile of rubble. So it's not doing too bad. Um, I do want to make sure that even though I'm adding texture to these mountains in the background, I don't do too much detail on them because they are farther away and you shouldn't be able to see as much detail. So I'm having a little difficulty warming up on this right now. So I hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend. Or at least everybody in America is celebrating Independence Day. Occasionally, I do get a few people listening in from different countries. I would give you examples, but I have forgotten just now. There's one from the UK. And then the other one, oh gracious, Denmark? I don't know. So, let me see. I think I'm going to do a little bit of grass around here, just to relieve it from being entirely gray rock when I get around to the coloring. So I was wondering what metallic color would be the best for my android right here. So I did think silver, but that's not going to come forward very much. And also, I'm pretty sure that the rocks are going to be gray, so I wanted something a little more high contrast. So I thought maybe a gold or a more coppery color. I mean, I'm not at all sure that I'd want to go too pink. But yeah, maybe something all coppery or bronzish. It would be interesting to do something with a patina on it as well. I mean, one of the things I know is what aged metal looks like. So I have a few interesting new developments. A gift that I had made um, for who's turned out to be my editor at Silver Empire is now going to be a t-shirt at Crypto Fashion. So if you look up Crypto Fashion and Silver Empire, I'm pretty sure that should take you to it. And the t-shirt that's the black and white, or well, grayscale, art of the Banshee from Heroes Fall, which is my editor's own book. That's a piece I did. And I'm really excited to see it on a t-shirt. And also the other one that they have from one of the other authors in the Heroes Unleashed universe is they used his cover art from Hollow City, and they kind of made a window out of the logo for Heroes Unleashed, and that just happened to frame the characters on the cover perfectly. I mean, it looked like it was designed for this. I mean, beautiful work by the artist. Awesome job by the guy formatting the t-shirts. Just really stellar all the way around. So yeah, I'd recommend you go check that out. Go look on cryptofashion.com. Pretty sure that's it. And look up Silver Empire store. And they have some cool art related to the Heroes Unleashed universe and what they're coming out with next. Let's see, just a second. Okay, I just got a message, that's fine. Yeah, I need to text her back and let her know everything's okay. We're sorry she didn't make it, but stuff happens. So let me see. I just want to do just the faintest suggestion of some ravines. Uh, Make these look like some very dangerous mountains to be falling down. Let's see. So I'm actually a lot happier than I thought I would be with my line work on this, so I guess that's worth something. I'm really happy that I was able to practice on something of my own for a little bit. Um, I am still open for commissions. Obviously, I did kind of have to take off this week. So there's a lot going on here. But I'm back. I have a plan. And even with the plan, there's still room in the schedule. So if there's anything that you need, book cover, poster, t-shirts, I am taking commissions. Generally, I specialize in science fiction and fantasy illustration. Let's see. I think I can do a little more texture on this mountain here. See, this looks a bit like that mountain range in China, I think. The very curiously tall and pointed mountains. Which, if I could remember the name of them, I probably still wouldn't be able to pronounce it. Let's see, what else is going on today? So, I've had a kitten that the mama cat is pleased to let me take care of here. So I guess we'll be keeping that one. Her name's Chai. She's a Dilute calico. And also the mama cat decided to bring up one of the orange kittens that she'd had before, and I mean, yeah, he's over here now too. That's the one I washed today. So he was surprisingly chill about it. I mean, he didn't want to get in the bath, but then once I had him in there, he didn't really want to get out because outside the water is cold. Hot tip, if you're ever forced to have to wash a cat, temperature is very important. And so is wearing like 3 layers of clothing and uh, having a towel ready, just in case. So I'm erasing out a little bit more of this detail on the on this tallest mountain closer to the foreground. I do think that it could stand more detail than the ones behind it, but it doesn't need all that much. And I really don't want it to compete with the line of my Android, curving around here. I want it to be uh, well in the background so that if someday I manage to sell this one as a book cover or a magazine cover or anything with a title on it, then right here at the top, there's plenty of room for the title and everything. And there's a nice line for your eye to follow. Diagonal lines, they're very dynamic and interesting. So that's what I've been trying to keep in mind with the pieces that I do on my own. So let's see, we'll do a little bit more on this mountain. I think I see where it needs more shading. Now, sometimes you have to not concentrate on something and just sort of keep it in mind, check on it out the corner of your eye until you figure out where the next line needs to be. And this would be a lot easier if I was working with a reference. But that's the thing with like science fiction and fantasy illustration. Sometimes you don't have a reference and you want your line quality to match. Okay, that one's looking all right. So I have my comic. Print run is finished. I have a few hundred copies sitting here that are not yet spoken for. So if you would like a copy, you can go visit my website at www.otherrealmstudio.com, and I have a shop on that site. I have a newsletter, let you know when the next one's coming out. Oh, I think I got that one a little too dark right there. I'll just go in there with the eraser and erase out some lines. Let's see. Yes, so my comic it's so far I have the first issue of a 10-issue series. The series is called Soulbound. The first issue is titled Adrift, like a chapter title, and it's about a pragmatic med student, Becca Albright, who is suddenly thrown into a world of magic, myth, and monsters. Now, the first issue introduces Becca uh, and several things that are actually very important to later events in the series. They might seem like ordinary drama at the time, but it's still pretty significant. Let's see, just a few more little scratch marks on these mountains in the very back, and I might possibly be ready to call the inks on this done. Well, except people up here seeking advice still don't have faces. So let me zoom in on those. Come on, people. And we'll go a little more fine. So something that you kind of need to do when okay, hang on. Something you need to keep in mind when you're doing features on faces that are very far away. You don't have much room because they're very tiny, and you also don't want to do too much detail. I mean, you just want to hit where the shadows are going to be. So I just need to concentrate on that for a bit. So yeah, I'm going to get in here and tidy up my people just a little bit more. And I don't have very long to work on this tonight. Okay. it is Miss Chaos's bedtime, and so she had better be going to bed like I just told her to go. Okay, I'm really kind of liking this little expression I've got going on here. Okay, let's see if that zooms out. Alright, not terrible, and at least they're not faceless anymore. Now let me see if I can correct a little bit of some of my hasty work on the folds. Let's see. This one's a little funny. Because she's clearly a lot younger than the other two coming up here. And her little robe's too big, and it's hanging over her arms. And this is her grandmother. I'm pretty sure. Seems like it would be. And this is either her mother or her big sister, who is taking this way too seriously. Let's see. I think I need to erase out some of this rounder stuff. And I guess it could not hurt to try to make these staffs a little more even. So yeah, all I have left here is a little tiny touch-up detail work. I kind of want to leave a lot of this sketchy. Yeah, in the interest of keeping all the textures different. Okay, also tonight is going to have to be a little bit of a shorter stream. Usually I try and just keep going till 10 o'clock, but I have a few things I still want to finish up. Let's see. Actually, this needs to be more shadowed right here. Okay, that'll work. And fit the screen. Yeah, it looks like I hardly did anything from this far out, but I know, and I'm happy. So that's it for the inks. And now what we do is we add another layer. We slide it below our inks, and then we will see what we can do about our flats. Let's take a look. What's our additional color set look like? Any of this look like copper to you? Get that one a shot. Whoa. Still not entirely happy with that as a base color. And that one's not really red enough. So I think that one's too close to like a skin color. And that's not really the way I wanted to go with that. And then so's that one. Alright, that might be passable. We'll leave it for right now. Okay. So this isn't final colors, this is just color testing. So I might not go with this at all. But I do think it's worth working with. Oh yes, and I need to go. Yeah, it's much better. I need to find my neutral colors. Let's back out of that. That did not look right. Oh, missed something. Let's take a look at this. So I might go with the indigo grays for the stone. That way you get a very cool gray, and there's a nice range of them grouped like right in here, which is convenient. It's amazing how much you can do on just the default in this program. Ah, there it went. A little much. Okay, so I don't have all these separated out. I'll just test that out. I think that these in the background should either be darker or lighter. Than the ones closer to the foreground. So I'm kind of leaning toward they should be lighter. Yeah, we'll go with the whole Jedi look here. I'm thinking that I kind of like this as a poster. So I might end up, if I can get a good deal on poster printing, might end up printing some posters of this one. And we'll see how it does at Comic-Con. I'm not a fan of how far this color spread, but I do like the color right there. So let me go ahead and use the lasso tool. We'll try and follow along our line work, at least fairly closely. I can always come back in. This is just test flats, so it doesn't really matter if it's not perfect. So I'm just going to outline where I'm going to want the color. In just a minute, after I finish tracing out all these little outlines. There. Now I have the whole area selected that I wanted to be green, and I could just hit that with the paint bucket and it just stays inside where it's selected. I can deselect from there. And also another nice advantage. So now that this is colored in, my gray won't splash beyond it. Okay, so far so good. I don't like the yellow at all. So maybe I could change that to something a little less glaring. I don't like going more red with it. That looks too brown. You know, I really didn't think that would work, but it might. Okay. I do still like the blue eye, but I might go even brighter with that. Just increase the saturation on that. And clearly in flats it's not going to look very good. Especially when you're doing something metallic, because you really do need those highlights. So I will test this one out. I'll let it rest a few days, I think. I don't think I'll be working on this one again tomorrow, but I will be back with an art stream tomorrow, most likely, unless something else comes up. But it's time for me to go. I know I said this one would be shorter, and it's not shorter by much. So, I appreciate you watching. Um, if you ordered my comic on the Kickstarter, I'm getting your order ready. I got started on that today. We're way ahead of schedule. Things are awesome. If you have not ordered your copy of Soulbound Adrift from the Kickstarter, you can go to my website at www.otherrealmstudio.com and order it there, while I still have a few copies. So, I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you, watching me work, listening to my stories. That's what I'm here for. So y'all have a good night, and I'll see you in the other realm.